Breaking news today. A Manhattan grand jury and corrupt DA Alvin Bragg formally indicted President Donald J. Trump yesterday, who is expected to turn himself in within the coming days. This is an outrageous abuse of power, and we the people are not dumb. We realize that. Trump released an official statement regarding the indictment, saying, quote, Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg was handpicked by George Soros. He's doing Joe Biden's dirty work and ignoring murder and assaults. I believe this witch hunt will backfire massively on Joe Biden. Let's dive into this a little bit more. Trump was not entirely wrong about Alvin Bragg ignoring crime. Alvin Bragg began his campaign for DA in 2019, was elected in 2021, and was sworn in January of 2022. In 2022, the city of New York had 126,537 total crimes committed, which is a 22.4% increase since 2021 before Bragg was elected, where the city seen 103.3 thousand total crimes committed. And on February 3rd, 2023, the NYPD announces a 24-year high when it comes to total crime. Thanks, Alvin. Now, when it comes to the claim that Bragg is Soros-funded, let's look at that. Most of the criticism stems from Alvin Bragg's support by a so-called racial justice group named The Color of Change, who actively seeks to influence politics and candidates. Why is this important? The Color of Change group formally endorsed Alvin Bragg for Manhattan DA in 2022. Just days after this endorsement, George Soros gave to The Color of Change a direct payment of $1 million, which is the largest single-person private donation in the 2022 New York City election cycle, says a Color of Change representative. Alvin Bragg received a donation of $500,000 shortly after the Soros donation to the group. George Soros' son, Jonathan, and wife actually met with Alvin Bragg and gave him a combined total donation of $20,000 for the campaign. The facts are the facts, unless you are a Democrat. George Soros has spent millions and millions of dollars backing DAs and politicians across the United States in an attempt to push and further his view of a liberal nation. Trump released a video slamming this indictment, calling it the most disgusting witch hunt in American history. Watch here.
Horrible, radical left Democrat investigations of your all-time favorite president, me, is just a continuation of the most disgusting witch hunt in the history of our country. Whether it's the Mar-a-Lago raid or the Unselect Committee hoax, the perfect Georgia phone call, it was absolutely perfect, or the Stormy Horseface Daniels extortion plot, they're all sick, and it's fake news. Our enemies are desperate to stop us because they know that we are the only ones who can stop them, and they know it very strongly.
Ron DeSantis and Mike Pence even came to Trump's defense, where they called this indictment politically motivated and a weaponization of our justice.
That just does not inspire confidence, and people see that as weaponizing the justice system. So I think it's fundamentally wrong to do that.
At a time when there's a crime wave in New York City, the fact that the Manhattan DA thinks that indicting President Trump is his top priority, I think, just tells you everything you need to know about the radical left in this country. It just feels like a politically charged prosecution here.
DeSantis even tweeted this and said, quote, "It is un-American." And Trump also tweeted this days ago and warned of potential death and destruction. Now, this was no threat or incitement. This was merely a warning to the corrupt radical left prosecutor Alvin Bragg about the potential possibility for mayhem from the public square if this goes through. And Trump could be right, because cities across the nation are bracing for possible mass protests in response to the Trump indictment. District Attorney Alvin Bragg ran his campaign on Get Trump, and even bragged that he sued Trump over 100 times when he worked for the New York AG's office. Bragg lets real murderous criminals walk free and then goes after Trump for fraud and falsification instead. Ever since Donald Trump came down that escalator at Trump Tower, the left wing in America has done everything they could to get Trump. Only because he's not a politician. He's running his 2024 campaign on draining the swamp. And this is the swamp fighting back. They aren't after Trump in the long run. No. They're after us, the American people. Trump is just in the way. Real Americans with 2 working brain cells can clearly see what is happening here. A corrupt and weaponized justice system with George Soros at its core, attacking and trying to bring down the man who stands for the people, for you and I, because he threatens their views and agenda of pushing America into a liberal nation. We the people will not let this stand so that they can destroy our country and set this dangerous precedent for our future presidents. Trump was right. This could be catastrophic for our nation. We the people, I believe, in my opinion, will fight back against this tyranny to the very end. If we don't, then we deserve everything that is coming our way. If we let this happen, if we let this go through, then they will be able to corruptly and falsely do this to you and I. Now subscribe here to Conservative Corner Entertainment 2 in order to stay tuned to this breaking story. God bless you all, God bless Donald J. Trump, and God bless the United States of America.